Hello, you guys. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Let's talk about 5.6, using multiplicative inverses to solve equations. So the first thing, look at this vocabulary. A multiplicative inverse. That's a lot to say. Multiplicative inverse. That just means a reciprocal. So if I started off with the fraction -3/8, I would just flip it. And remember, when I flip a negative fraction, notice how I let the negative float on top and then I flip the numbers. So the reciprocal would be -8/3. And notice how I did not use an equal sign. I used an arrow. These are not equal. They're inverses. They'll destroy each other. Okay, so take a look at example 1. We have 3/5x = 15. Well, the first thing I always tell people to do is make everything look like a fraction. So I would write 3/5x = 15/1. And now, look at the fraction touching your variable, 3/5. That's what I want to destroy. So I destroy it by multiplying by its multiplicative inverse, or its reciprocal. 5/3. Whatever I do on one side, I have to match on the other side. Now remember, over here, the 5's will cancel each other, the 3's will cancel each other, and that just creates that giant invisible 1. Bring down the x, bring down the equal sign. And over here, you want to cross cancel. So 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. 15 divided by 3 gives you 5. Well, 5 times 5 gives you 25 on top. 1 times 1 gives you 1 on the bottom. So x = 25/1, or just 25. Take a look at number 1 here. 6/11x = 18. Well, the first thing I tell people to do is make the numbers look like fractions. So 6/11x = 18/1. And then look at the number touching the variable, 6/11. You want to multiply by its reciprocal, 11/6. Whatever you do on one side, you have to match on the other side. And then everything that's touching the variable, the 11's cancel each other out, they become 1's. The 6's cancel each other out, they become 1's. So you get that giant invisible 1. Bring down the x, bring down the equal sign. And over here, look at the 18 and the 6. Their greatest common factor is 6. So 18 divided by 6 leaves you with 3. 6 divided by 6 leaves you with 1. 3 times 11 gives you 33 in the numerator. 1 times 1 gives you 1 in the denominator. So x = 33. Take a look at number 2. You have -7/13x equals, and I made 28 look like 28/1. Make it look like a fraction. And then use the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply this side by -13/7, and I multiply the right side by -13/7. Okay, look at what's touching the variable. The 13's cancel, the 7's cancel. And remember, a negative times a negative makes that positive invisible 1. Bring down the x, bring down the equal sign, and over here, look at the 28 and the 7. The greatest common factor is 7. So 28 divided by 7 leaves you with 4. 7 divided by 7 leaves you with 1. 4 times -13 is -52 on top. 1 times 1 is 1 in the denominator. So x = -52. Okay, so take a look at solving two-step equations with fractions. So I have -7/12x + 3/4 = 1/2. Well, circle the variable, bring down the wall. You have to destroy what's being added first. So if I want to destroy adding 3/4, I subtract 3/4 on both sides of the wall. Okay, and then I bring down my -7/12x. The positive 3/4 plus the negative 3/4 destroy each other. They became 0. Bring down the equal sign. And over here, since I have to subtract the fractions, I'm going to get a common denominator. So I'm going to change 1/2 to 2/4. Well, when the denominators match, I copy the 4, and then 2 plus -3 gives me -1. So I have -7/12x = -1/4. So look at the number touching the variable. That's the one I want to destroy. So I'm going to multiply both sides by its reciprocal. So I multiply the left-hand side by -12/7 and the right-hand side by -12/7. Okay, over by the x, everything cancels and we get that giant invisible 1x. Bring down the equal sign. Over here, look at the 4 and the 12. The greatest common factor is 4, so I simplified. 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. -12 divided by 4 gives me -3. So negative 1 times negative 3 gave me positive 3 in the numerator, and 1 times 7 gives me 7 in the denominator. So x equals 3/7. Okay, take a look at example 3. The height of a certain Norway spruce is 10 feet. If the tree's height grows 2½ feet per year, find how long it will take the tree to reach a height of 25 feet. So they set it up for us. They said the current height plus the growth rate times the number of years will equal the new height. So we just substitute in the values, and they gave it to us right here. So I wrote it in the margin to show my work. 10 plus 2½ equals 25. So now I circle the variable, bring down the wall. I have to destroy what's being added first. So I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides of the equation. So 10 minus 10 destroy each other. I bring down the 2½, I bring down the x, I bring down the equal sign, and of course 25 minus 10 gives me 15. Now, make everything look like a fraction, okay? So let's change the 2½ to be an improper fraction. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I get 5/2x equals, and I make 15 look like a fraction, 15/1. Now remember, look at the number touching your variable. That's the one you want to destroy. So if I want to destroy 5/2, I have to multiply by the reciprocal, 2/5, on both sides of the equal sign. So remember, the 2 over here by the variable, 2 crosses out 2, they both become 1. 5 destroys the 5, they both become 1. So I get that giant invisible 1. Then I bring down the x, bring down the equal sign, and over here, 5 and 15, their greatest common factor is 5. So 15 divided by 5 gives me 3. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. So 3 times 2 gives me 6 in the numerator. 1 times 1 gives me 1 in the denominator. So x equals 6. So my answer is the tree will be 15 feet tall after 6 years.